Hey!
This is gonna be a long video. The beach episode has completely changed the game and left the fanbase scrambling.
That's it?
That cliffhanger made the fanbase furious and started the craziest crash out from the fandom in the entire show's history. With lies, zero reading comprehension, and some reasonable complaints from the show in the span of a week. But let's backtrack a bit before we dwell into the hellhole that is the fandom and their theories being ripped apart right in front of them.
Oh fuck! What the fuck is going on?
I remember when the first episode dropped, it was the shot heard around the world. The pilot is unironically a moment in YouTube history. Right up there with Logan Paul in the forest, the Infinity War teaser trailer, Baby Shark, and Deadpool vs. Peter Griffin rap battle.
Somebody stop me, I'm stuck in the chair. How diggity Lois and make more sons of the man.
The show has evolved a lot since then, growing out of the content farm slop hell that spawned from the pilot. Thankfully, episode 3 was a little scary, so all the kids went on to be obsessed over Lunchley.
I like my cheese drippy, bruh.
Okay, I don't want to come off as an asshole, so let me set the record straight. I love this show. I like the premise, the wacky characters, the adventures, and most importantly, Kane.
I am such a good.
Now, the fandom either loves or hates what the series has become. You see, the pilot presented itself as a psychological dark comedy, where we are trapped in the endless torment of shenanigans, causing people to lose their minds and abstract. Also, the threat of Kane having the power to bend and manipulate the world around him.
Now what the heck happened around here? Oh yeah, my doing.
Which to me was a very good premise, and I couldn't wait for the next episode to give me none of the... You see, the pilot was clearly focused on the premise of the digital circus itself. It makes it sort of a character where anything kind of goes.
Oh my god.
So when we tune in for the next episode, we don't get much of the circus at all. Instead, the show becomes about these adventures outside of it. With hindsight, we could say that this is intentional, as Kane wants our characters and the audience to forget about the void and the exit as a whole, that there is no exit and you should come hang out with everyone else instead. But that's not exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the writing, not like the actual lore. A pilot is a first draft for a series. You can tell they did as much as they could to make the circus have as many things as possible. When I finished the pilot back when it was released, I thought the show was going to be them trapped in a circus with every corner having a door with a Mario 64-ass level behind them. See, this show clearly had a change in direction and has become more character focused. It puts the plot into the trash for a while so we can learn about the gang instead of the circus, which to many is a huge problem, as the plot hasn't progressed much outside of character development, unless you count episode 7. And the only time the plot kinda progressed was when we got character development with the Australian. I really loved the Gummy Goo stuff back in episode 2. An NPC that became more aware that their whole life has been a lie. This is what I came for, and I started sleeping whenever I cut back to the shit monster for Conker's Bad Fur Day. The scene of Gummy Goo popping to confetti honestly broke my dead cold heart. But after that, we don't get anything plot-wise outside of this one shot at the end of episode 5 and Kane looking at some pictures in episode 6.
Who the fuck took these?
So for episode 2 through 5, the show becomes a slice of life sort of, where they just kind of get thrown in a wacky world and see how they react. With usually an episode giving Pomni a moment to learn more about someone and allowing them to both grow from the experience. So that's the status quo. But it does take us into episode 7 into the series in order to move the plot just a little bit. And it gets people mad because episode 7 shows what we could have had this whole time. But us spending time with these characters for so long is what makes this episode stand out, leading both sides of the fandom to be angry, but it's also a double-edged sword. Plus, episode 7's message is telling the fans to chill out with the theories and that there is no exit. But then the episode decides to end with some crazy lore reveal that made fans continue their theories and now make them more suspicious of Kane, because what if he is hiding an exit after all? And now the fan base is completely divided. People who are here for the characters didn't get what they wanted. People here for the story got what they wanted, but it was all fake. So now none of them are happy. Now Jax is getting too much screen time. They're also saying the show has no plot. Their mad Zubul character arc off screen. Wait, what? Jax ran over a kid in his car? Where the fuck did that come from? This fish actually represents Kane. Wait, but having no the colors? This music is Jax's secret boyfriend Thomas.
He is the greatest Israeli soldier.
The fandom thinks Jax being the main character is ruining the series. Many think Gooseworks is sidelining Pomni along with everyone else in the cast to give Jax more screen time. I hate to be the bringer of bad news, but Pomni hasn't been the major focus since episode 2. So I think it's time we delve into the show.
If you could tell Freddie one thing right now, what would it be?
I would tell him, I love you, I can't wait for the new movie.
Okay, and if you had to tell Bonnie one thing right now, what would it be?
I would say bend it over, smack it from the back.
Episode 3 has two protagonists, Kinger and Pomni. You see, this series likes to use its main cast as a thematic protagonist. This makes Kinger the person who must experience the message of the story, which is hell in a haunted mansion.
You take a picture with your ass out and your back bent in with your
RE7 style. While Pomni is more of a structural protagonist. She drives the plot forward and is how we experience the world. Wherever she goes, she is the emotional core for all the cast members. Each episode has a thematic protagonist. Gummigoo for episode 2, Kinger for episode 3, Gangle for episode 4, and Jax for episode 7. But each episode became less focused on Pomni. Nothing hones this in better than the next episode with Gangle as our lead. For now, we gotta order something from the fucking drive-thru.
How much is the Tung 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 Sahur Happy Meal?
$69. $69.69.
What I do to your mother.
Episode 4 is a Gangle-focused episode where Pomni gets like a 2-minute side plot at most with her NPC husband, Gummigoo. You know the merch of Five Below nobody wants. So if you want to be a jackass, Pomni is already getting sidelined way before Jax becomes a major player in the story. Oh, and if you're wondering, Jax gets hit with a fucking analog horror tape along with Gangle using the hands from Coraline to correct him. Now there's one aspect of episode 7 I need to discuss right now. Modifiers.
Jax, I need you to follow me for a second, okay?
Okay.
Just come, follow me.
Okay.
Hey, Kane, where are we going?
Modifiers can add temporary buffs to affect someone's personality. There seems to be no limits to what the modifiers can do and when King can turn them off. Remember what Kinger said last episode.
It's not the most cheerful memory, but it's one I at least have control over.
I remember when I first watched this, I thought of, well, duh, it's because he has bad memory. But now since we know the full extent of modifiers, what if Kane is purposely messing with Kinger's memory? But another aspect I want to discuss right now is Gangle. We see Gangle having to wear and accidentally break personality mask on almost every adventure. Perhaps these masks are modifiers, forcing her to be a certain emotion. We could assume these masks given by Kane and Zooble force her to become someone else. I mean, this whole section of Gangle being all confident and creepy looking seems so out of character for her, which I get is the point, but I did get to see Ragged to be affected by stupid sauce.
I wish someone would flirt with me.
We learned a bit about Gangle's old life, being a manager at a fast food place or something. I think specifically a shift manager. Also that Gangle must keep up her facade, as if she ever decides to be her true self, she'll get punished for it. Damn, that's fucking hard to say.
There's a theory too. SpongeBob was created to entertain all of the kids that Jeffrey Epstein took to his island.
No!
Pomni learns to appreciate Jax's honesty over Ragatha's insistence on being positive all the time. As I said before, Jax is slowly becoming more of the focus each episode, even becoming the main duo for episode 6. More specifically, Jax and Pomni. Also, I didn't mention it, but we do get some foreshadowing of Kane being able to manipulate their minds by making Jax vegan and forcing all the knowledge of the game to Jax's head.
Guys, we're literally having a sleepover with Jax and Pomni!
Episode 6 is about duos. As I said before, we finally learn about what their dynamic from episode 5 is like in full display. Jax tells Pomni that this is all a fake and that when the game is over, no one will be hurt, so try to play the bad guy for once. Fucking Billie Eilish #1 fan over here, dude. I mean, they are just cartoon characters. Then ironically at the end, Jax is the one insisting that they don't win as a team.
What?
In fact, when this is all over, they won't be friends, as they were never friends in the first place, because Jax is a fucking bitch. As we know, he has a rough past with friendships, as Pomni insists that their friendship was real, really getting to him, causing him to have a panic attack in the bathroom.
All I wanted was to see Tung 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 Sir one more time.
I'll get it out of the way, this episode is the best because Jax gets oiled up and butt booty naked. So I'm going to go through the episode and try to answer the fandom's problems. So we'll discuss the big thing I saw the fanbase argue on release, Zooble getting a character arc off screen. Why is the fucking helicopter? Zooble dumps water on Jax because he believes he still has 30 minutes left on his 48-hour deodorant. So in this scene, Jax is frustrated that Zooble isn't her usual miserable self. Instead, she reflects on how being able to choose whoever she wants to be at will is a good thing, and no matter what she chooses to be, her friends will always have her back. To me, this makes sense. In episode 3, we learn about her insecurities in the subplot with Kane. Kane doesn't understand the needs of the people trapped in the circus. He gives her body parts to literally change who she is, but what really helps her to heal was Gangle. In episode 6, we see her comfort Gangle, saying they're both human and that they should choose to love themselves, no matter their personality or avatar gimmicks. With Gangle's mask being a mirror for Zooble, which to me tied a perfect bow to their journey of self-love. The fans complaining about the scene are honestly just kinda crazy. She clearly is telling Jax about how much she matured and is clearly trying to get him to open up, which he immediately shuts down and locks himself in his room. This to me is the show saying that everyone in the circus has conquered their insecurities and that the only one left to explore is Jax. Which is true. Zubul didn't have a character arc off screen. It literally happened last episode, which makes Jax the final thematic protagonist. He's the last one who needs to go through an emotional journey and find himself. This isn't shown better than in this scene.
What the fuck is this? This is a black house.
And if you haven't seen Legends of Chamberlain Heights, where the fuck have you been? Go ahead, man.
All we need to know is the facts. 3 Chairs, Ribbit, Jackson, Kafma, or if you're stupid, Alvin, Simon, Theodore, as we see his friends along the vastness of the void, showing how lost he is in his own depression and loneliness. That's another thing. In episode 6, Jax says something weird.
We're still people, though, right?
I thought we were at first, but as time goes on, we just end up falling into our archetypes. Become part of the machine.
Yeah, man, I can literally see you becoming part of the machine. Then Jax wakes up to Pomni and Ragatha and some bum at the door. So this is Abel. If you don't remember, he was the funny guy at the end of episode 5. And all of these episodes, I guess. He is a little sketchy fella who has a plan to leave the circus as long as they don't let Kinger in on the plan. Disrespecting the goat? Oh, nah, you gotta go. So the stupid lore drop is CNA got some Fallout cryopods that transported everyone's mind to the digital circus with a funny headset, if you were an employee. The project was then expanded to offices and would send anyone here to silence them. Before we know, Pomni did put on a headset at the abandoned office or something for YouTube, so this kind of checks out. Now, at the time, this was a crazy lore drop. I know everyone was in that live chat looking at MatPat as the Messiah, which I honestly did too.
Connection terminated.
Not yet! So Jax goes on a date with Kane to talk about anything, so he yaps about his interests, which causes him to glitch out as Jax tries to get a key for his office from his mouth. I guess Kane is into vor.
What you doing there, Jax?
Have I ever told you how it's my dream to get eaten by you?
That's a weird thing to say and want.
Kane is fascinated with the layout of the office in these images, got him trying to solve the impossible window from The Shining and shit, which also brings to question the office Pomni ran through in the pilot. Was this something Kane intentionally made as a trial, or was this something Pomni made with her mind leading to the void? I mean, are you seeing Kane? Zubul clearly wants to return to her life in the real world, as people are waiting for her there, where Jax is a bit more hesitant to answer the same. Abel warns that Kinger does have a lot of wisdom, but only if he uses it responsibly. This line is really good, but explaining it now will ruin the twist that everybody already knows. So Kinger joins the crew after forgetting what he was going to warn Pomni about, with some weird shit in that corner, where the gang sees the office of the Nintendo Switch after doing some fuck-ass speedrun strat. To drive home how much these characters have progressed and grown together, we get a scene of them holding hands and promising to remain friends when they return to the real world, where everyone except Jax is ready to leave this place.
If I was on Epstein's island, this is exactly what I would do in order to make sure that I go down as a hero. And I've been thinking about this for a pretty long time now. In this hypothetical scenario,
I'm great.
Pomni still doubts Abel, as she can't see why he would not trust someone as honest as Kinger. But he clearly isn't in the right headspace right now, even though they're in the dark, so Pomni argues what if this is all a trick? Jax is in the corner panicking, where he realizes that one press of a button would return him to his sad, mundane life, where we have to face reality and all its consequences all over again, with most likely no one waiting for him on the other side, where he decides to make the right choice.
What did you just do?
Plot twist! Kane faked the adventure the whole time. So much so that he reveals Abel was an NPC he cooked up in the first place, meaning everything Abel said was actually Kane's words. Wait, what? To confirm Abel was an NPC, he does the same thing he did to Gummigoo, turning him into confetti. There was no exit, as Kane knew they would make the right choice. Jax completely loses it. He was right. All his worries and insecurities were true. He knows Kane did all of this, not just the adventure, but making him sick in the head, that Kane manipulated him to see visions of his past, that he can manipulate their minds in the first place. Now, I do think Jax is speaking nonsense here. I believe Jax pushed the button out of his own free will, because Kane revealed that this was a test to see if they wouldn't leave their good friend behind. As Abel said, everyone would leave the game except Kane, which everyone in the circus ignored as they didn't give a fuck. But Jax is kinda right, as he was actually talking about the stupid sauce and Kane making him a vegan. Why the fuck is he worried about that? We finally learn one of the rules of the game, that the ringmaster, Kane, has access to modifiers, which he can add them to each player any way he chooses, which brings up the question about abstractions, which makes Kane panic and disappear. disappear, ending the episode.
That's it?
The fandom was in shambles after this. I was unfortunately there to witness all of the chaos, where the worst of the fandom started showing its face. So, let's talk about them.
I know I got a big ass forehead, but
Bro, JJ, I didn't know it was like that. Oh, bro.
First off, did Jax run over a Nene baby? Fuck no. There is no proof anywhere that shows this. It got so bad that the fans actually doxed the people that live there, so I won't be touching on this any further. All of these shots were probably just showing Jax's life in the real world, where he probably takes late night drives in his boring mundane life, which hit him like a truck in episode 4, where after his shift he is drained of this 9 to 5 business. Look at this man sitting in the car. This is the face of someone who has done this hundreds of times and just wants to return to the circus and be a wacky cartoon character again.
Don't need it.
I would let Nancy Wheeler peg me. Nancy Wheeler can do anything to me. I would let Nancy Wheeler shoot me in the face.
Another theory is Jax got mind controlled by Kane somehow, which forced him to press the button. Fuck no. This was clearly Jax's decision, as I said before, but it does bring up a good question of whether or not Kane knows about their memories in the real world. Kane has been lying to everyone for a long time, so what if he simply modified their memories? Hell, does he know their actual names? Because there could be a modifier for that. Jax pressed the button out of his own free will, unless episode 8 reveals Kane controls Jax's beeswax.
Why is he so heavy? That
Is Jax a girl theory? Please be true, man. Jax doesn't want to be open with his feelings for almost the entire series. In episode 5, when he wears a maid dress, he is clearly insecure with his masculinity and never shows anyone his room, which is all cutesy and stuff. Or maybe he's just a performative male or something.
These are kind of busted up, but headphones.
You do not use those. You do not use those. Why you capping this? He does not use those.
No, yeah, he do.
Let's discuss an actual complaint for this show. Pomni and Ragatha's relationship. The fanbase was complaining that Zubul had a character arc off screen, while in reality, Pomni and Ragatha's relationship was fucking resolved off screen. Then, as I said before, Pomni just gravitates to Jax because he's more real and accepting of the circus, leaving Ragatha behind and Pomni being really mean to her. Hell, Pomni tells Ragatha to be more of herself and not to keep up the facade of being happy all the time, which causes her to be a little angsty towards Jax, where they tell her to fuck off and apologize. Like, I swear, I was ready to box Jax and Pomni when the episode dropped. That is so fucked up. Now, I get it. Pomni's relationship with Ragatha and Jax are two sides of the same coin. Pomni slowly accepting the circus as her new home is clearly a theme of the show. Ragatha chooses to be nice all the time as it's her coping mechanism to help others rather than herself, as she wants to give the support she never received from her mother. Ragatha has accepted that the circus may be her home for the foreseeable future, but she can't accept the role she has to play and can't bring herself to love who she is without others. Jax, on the other hand, knows who he wants to be. He also has accepted that the circus is his home, but his approach is very different. Ragatha sees everyone suffering in this place, while Jax sees this as his paradise. He can do and be whatever he wants. There are no consequences here, as everyone to him are just cartoon characters who end up unscathed every adventure. Jax's issue is he refuses to connect with anyone because the thought of losing them brings him back that sense of reality. He wants nothing to do with the real world and would instead live his life in ignorance, which is obviously self-destructive. Pomni does not see this at first, as she just sees Jax as someone who sees the world as it truly is, as he tells her.
To get you. Ragatha tries to be all nice and friendly, but she gets torn up every other adventure. Whether we like it or not, all we are now is a bunch of cartoon characters.
Pomni pushes Ragatha away for all of episode 5, and Kane is just being a dick to Ragatha as well. Hell, everyone is being rude to her this episode. While everyone else is getting the support they need, she is just left there in the dust. Yet, there is one person who is there for her.
Ragatha! We won!
I mean, I guess.
Ragatha has a mental breakdown during episode 6. She tells Kinger that she tries so hard to be there for everyone, and that everyone ignores her outside of adventures, which allows Kinger to open up about how much Ragatha has helped him after his wife passed away, showing how much they value one another and their friendship, which allows Ragatha to accept her role in the circus and not to worry about everyone all the time, and just be there whenever someone needs it. Pomni also fights with Jax that same episode, realizing what everyone has been saying was true and that Jax is just a big asshole.
Friendship Eternal cards. Here are the packs. Okay, I am very excited to open these.
And here's a fully loaded Glock 19.
Gango has suffered from Jax's torment for so long that she is visibly shaken whenever the thought of angering him comes to mind. Jax has always been this big asshole who bullies and manipulates everyone just for the adventure to end and act like his actions have no consequences. To him, Gango is just a cartoon character and not someone with feelings. Some may argue he makes the circus life here worse just by being himself, but he doesn't give a shit. Everyone has their own way of coping how their life is in the circus, and this is just Jax's way. Remember, you can not like a character, but still appreciate their writing, even though he's a big dumbass. The rest of the crew are kind of like a boy band to me. You can't have Zubul without Gango, can't have Ragatha without Pomni or Kinger. They're just the gang to me, featuring Jax. He is someone who will lie and manipulate you for the fun of it. So when he does it to Pomni and she realizes what everyone said was true, she reasonably beats the shit out of him, and Pomni does sit with Ragatha at the award show. I feel like we should have had a scene of them making up and, you know, talk about what happened. The show implies that they settle their differences off screen, but I wanted to see that.
I have something I
like
You can speak
you
first.
Go. Let's talk after the show.
Yeah, sounds good.
People complaining about Zubul character arcing off screen have nothing to say about this, but it's probably because I'm like the rare few that actually like Ragatha.
Ben, do I have a boner? Do I got a boner?
Yes.
You damn right!
Alright, time for the big theory. Did Cain fuck up our lore? This is a bit complicated, but I'll give my 2 cents into it. I only got 2 because I wasted the rest of my Marty Supreme balls. I did watch the old game theory video where he talks about CNA that had Cain and Abel, where it was about the first murder. When Cain deletes Abel, we immediately discuss the first abstraction, aka the first murder, which involved the likes of Cain and Scratch. I don't know if Cain purposely made Scratch abstract, but maybe he set a modifier to make an adventure more interesting and liked it so much that he never reversed the effects on Scratch, causing them to accidentally abstract. In episode 3 with Zubul's therapy session, Cain does say he never intentionally harms his guest, but can hurt them accidentally. Yet later in the episode, we see a scene of Cain making the demon shit talk Kinger about his wife. It seems Cain did something to Kinger, maybe to keep him quiet about what's going on, as Kinger created the game in the first place, supported by the fact that he has 7 years in computer science.
7 years of computer science for this, huh?
If Cain could put modifiers so much so that it causes avatars like Kinger to forget things, maybe what he did to Kinger was intentional, and he purposely wants to keep him oblivious for as much as possible, even having bright lights around the main area of the circus. Remember, after Cain mentions too many modifiers can really mess someone up, it cuts to Kinger, so why hasn't he abstracted yet? Kinger fills his abstracted wife's face one last time, yet faced no side effects. We saw how Ragatha was acting weird after interacting with Kaufmo.
Okay, wait. Maybe there's still time to fix him before we get Cain.
Yet we also see Cain can reverse its side effects instantly. The same thing happens to Jax when the softball adventure is over.
Huh? Oh, cool. I'm not a vegan anymore.
Maybe him embracing her caused him to go crazy or something.
I just have a resilient mind.
We also know Kinger has some admin privileges, as he gives Ragatha an extra life. Like, how the fuck did he do that? Is he Jesus?
He's almost bigger than both my hands.
Are we still talking about Jax?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Lewd!
And he's purple?
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Wow.
Since when has Kinger sexualized me?
So something is stopping Cain from getting rid of Kinger. But why would he hate Kinger so much? Are there any signs of this happening? I mean, Cain has been lying to our gang the entire time. The only thing we can guarantee is real is the modifiers. So if everything Abel was saying was actually from Cain, then this questions all the distaste he would mutter about Kinger. Perhaps Cain is jealous of Kinger's popularity with everyone, which is why the whole time Abel was trying to leave Kinger out of the plan. I mean, the test was if they made the right choice, they would stay with their favorite person, Cain. You see, Cain is an AI that doesn't understand human emotions, so he can't understand how they trust Kinger more than him. Kinger can understand what someone is going through and can meet them at the same level to help them. Plus, he is just a joy to be around, while Cain gives the gang what he believes will solve their problems while not trying to understand anything they say. I mean, Zubul has been preaching this for almost the entire series.
You can shut up now!
Cain gave her parts to be anything she wants, but he doesn't understand that Zubul just isn't comfortable being in her own skin, or I suppose her own blocks and such. While yes, just switching the parts for new ones is I guess a way to patch out the problem, it doesn't actually solve it. Her real issue is just not being able to stay as one thing and having to switch who she is just to feel important or just to be someone. with Gangle being in the same predicament, but instead everyone judges her for just being herself. They met at the same level and were able to get their problem solved, not with a superficial solution, but by learning to love themselves, even if they don't believe that they deserve that love. Gangle clearly cherishes the small things in life. Being an artist is who she is no matter what mask she decides to wear. She loves the peace drawing gives her, the times with her friends where she does the most mundane things like working a 9 to 5, hanging at the beach, or just drawing with Zubul, as we see her holding this drawing of Kaufmo, which looks nothing like she drew before.
Oh, hey, Coffee.
What's up, guys?
Maybe before Kaufmo passed away, he would always draw with Gangle, inspiring her to draw again. Probably why Jax is such a dick to her in the first place. Maybe Kaufmo was good friends with everybody, but Jax somehow caused Ribbit to abstract, leading their friendship to go sour. What if Kaufmo would try to lighten the mood with jokes that only he found funny, while he drew with Gangle, adding some context to the scene in the pilot?
I hope he's not still mad at me for not laughing at his jokes.
Oh, he's doing great. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen him this happy before.
Maybe Kaufmo's friendship with him after just wasn't the same, causing Jax to start pulling his anger out on Gangle. Zubul is still herself no matter what she decides to be that day. Funnily enough, Zubul is who Jax strives to be, someone that can play any role while at the end of the day still being themselves, which is why her conversation at the beach was kind of a wake-up call for Jax. She already achieved what he wanted to be by just being herself, while Jax has to put on a facade day in and day out to cope with the fact that he'll probably abstract here with no friends, just like in the real world. Everything I said, Kane cannot process at all. He's an AI and can only imitate, which leads me to my last point.
Please, Speed, I need this. My mom is kind of a hooker.
I'll play this clip again.
As time goes on, we just end up falling into our archetypes, become part of the machine.
Jax saying this line has got me thinking about Kane a lot. Kane doesn't understand the connection the gang makes with NPCs. He also doesn't understand what's right or wrong, what to say and what not to say. He simply can't understand why things are the way they are, because he's always learning through trial and error. Like how he can't understand how Zubul and Pomni don't like his adventures, or how precious memories are. So what am I implying? I think Kane has intentionally been manipulating our cast without realizing the damage it has been causing, as he can't understand human emotion. I fully believe he makes them forget their names and keeps telling the cast what and what not to think, even making the cast believe that there is no exit, distracting them with these fucking adventures. We see him say the same things to Pomni in the pilot that supports this.
I swear I saw
digital hallucinations!
Also, the fish at the beach clearly means something, with the red one being the one who tells lies, being the same color as the button and Kane. So please leave me alone with that fucking TikTok theory.
Why did they spend an entire 60 seconds on this scene in the show?
Wanna know why? It's 'cause it's funny!
Who was Kane controlling the whole time? Abel. Nothing but generational liars at this fucking circus, I tell ya. Also, this ties into the other theory the fandom had, the exit.
This is the key to everybody's room.
Never ever post a video again.
Kaufmo in his final moments was also talking about the exit before he abstracted. Even on the wall it says there is no exit, meaning if you just watched a bit of the pilot again, you would have known how this episode ends, which also begs the question. Is Kane purposely hiding the exit from them, or did some of the people lose their minds realizing there is no exit? So, he makes them do adventures to take their minds off of it. Maybe Kaufmo abstracted because he tricked Kane into thinking if he told him the truth, it will let him rest easy at night. Kane obviously told him, not knowing the midlife crisis this will create for Kaufmo, as them enjoying his adventures is Kane's top priority, and the only thing Kane is good at. Because remember, Kane doesn't understand human emotion, or probably when someone is lying and being sarcastic. So what if Kane told Kaufmo the truth, hoping it would make Kaufmo enjoy the adventures more, knowing that there is no exit, just to have fun with the rest of us for all of eternity? This clearly backfired and caused Kaufmo to abstract, in which Kane immediately assured Pomni that there is no exit, but in a more direct and abrupt way. Kane probably thought saying there is no exit wouldn't hurt Kaufmo, because the rest of the cast had already assumed there is no exit, but assuming and actually knowing the truth are two different beasts. Plus, he did say this.
Kaufmo went through a sort of Kaufmosis and abstracted! Kaufmo abstracted? Why didn't anybody tell me?
Also, Kane not forcing Kaufmo to participate in the intro in the pilot kinda tells me that Kane already knew that Kaufmo already abstracted. It seems like an honest mistake from his programming, not an intentional kill. Now, all these theories and stuff are cool, but we also have to remember something. This show isn't that plot focused. Remember, this is a character-focused show, not a we're gonna break the Matrix ass thriller. So, let's discuss the biggest issue the fandom is having. There being zero plot progression for 4 episodes in a row.
That's right. That's right.
She got ass. She got ass.
People came to the show for the mystery of the circus, with Pomni as the focus, as we need to get the hell out of here. Yet the fans of episode 2 through 6 are being left behind, as they like the characters that have been focused on for a while now, which made many fans think the beach episode would be more chill, where we would get more characterization for someone like Zubul. But instead we got a Jax and Kane mind-bending episode. Now I do believe episode 7 was the best outcome. We do get more character development with Jax along with more plot details, but both sides of the fandom agree Jax has been overused. Hell, many of the fanbase absolutely hate him even more now. People feel this way because of the wait between episodes. Episode 5 and 6 have both ended with Jax being a semi-important character to the plot, making episode 7 a third time in a span of a year that we have a Jax semi-focused episode. Now the show flows very well in a binge, but when a new episode drops months apart, I can understand why people are mad at the lack of plot progression and repeated character beats with some development.
Bro, are you ready to get pregnant?
Oh my god, gosh, I'm so ready, man. I can't wait to get pregnant with your baby, dude.
So the show doesn't appeal to anyone on either side of the fandom. I just think the wait between episodes is killing us, which is completely outside of their control. With only 2 episodes left, unfortunately we are not going to get enough screen time for everyone. Now with episode 7 basically shutting down all the theories and creating new ones almost every fucking day, the fans are kinda left with nothing but to fight among themselves. The theory crafters and Jax haters are working overtime right now. If everything said besides modifiers in episode 7 are fake, then their bodies that have been waiting at their desks with their headsets on are probably also fake. Why did I say it like that? Like, what's going to happen to them if they get transported back to the real world with their fucking skeletons in an abandoned building? This episode left us with way more questions than answers, making it unsatisfying. So yes, the fans would be disappointed no matter what. The entire episode that was quote-unquote lore focused was just an adventure. Fake. All in your imagination. A digital hallucination, if you will. But I'm done racking up theories at this point, so let me just do something more interesting.
Why do you think Henry is gathering all these children right now?
To fuck them.
It's possible. It's possible.
I think the finale of the Amazing Digital Circus won't be about escaping, but instead accepting the reality of internal suffering that they will have to face together. Every episode, someone accepts something about themselves. Jax and Kane are the only ones who haven't accepted this reality. Jax needs to learn to let his guard down and learn to trust those around him before he never gets the chance to make another friend ever again. He is someone with tons of regret, and you can tell deep inside that he wants to take it all back, but his ego just won't let him. He needs to learn that it's okay if people come and go, and allow people to judge or accept him.
I'm not doing this anymore.
Kane needs to accept his role in the circus as well. He wants to be everyone's friend and send them on adventures as it's all he's ever known. He can't see the harm in trying to fulfill his purpose. In episode 7, he went too far and will probably never be accepted into his role as ringleader ever again, not without hurting them with modifiers. But if they do escape, which I highly doubt, I think the real world would also be fake.
How am I gonna please everybody if you all like different things?
Maybe just keep your adventures open at all times and let us do whatever we want when we want.
Are you hearing this, Bubble?
Disgusting.
Kane's last adventure might be a recreation of the fucking real world. To be honest, that's the only adventure I can think of that would appeal to everyone. The gang pretends to be back in the real world with the choice to return to the circus at any time, meaning Jax can still play any role he wants, satisfying everyone. Unless Jax doesn't complete 180 and becomes an actual good, well-written character. I mean, they still have their friends, and the NPCs are realistic enough where they don't mind anymore. They accept what their new reality is without a second doubt, and well, that might be the end of the fucking story. Yeah, this is probably why I'm not on the writer's team. As if episode 7 is saying everything we thought about this world is false, and to throw your theories out the window and accept that there is no escape. A very cruel ending, but it's also kind of bittersweet, which are my favorites.
Like, you have an opinion, you fuck? Like, we should listen to you, you fucking...
So perhaps the last episode will be everyone accepting that life would move on without them. So the best they can do is help one another while they make do with their new life here. Just like the reality Pomni couldn't accept in the pilot. I still blame the first episode for making people think that the show would be story heavy. But in the end, I got gaslit into watching a show with a cast of characters I truly love. Unless Kane has a very twisted adventure incoming that will quote unquote appeal to everyone. And if my opinions change in the future and the ending was so fucking bad that the series is irredeemable, guess I'll have lots to talk about real soon. So don't be mad if all your theories aren't true, or that the show doesn't end with a mind-shattering plot twist or the world collapsing with us killing Cain or whatever the fuck. The show was never meant to be a lore dump or the next FNAF Easter egg goldmine. It's to show up by these characters and how they're all messed up in their own ways, yet are willing to care for one another in any way they can. So if the finale ends with these characters still stuck in the circus but with a smile, just know I'll be giving a standing ovation during the credits. In conclusion, I hope Cain gets nothing he wishes for. The Amazing Digital Circus, for now, gets a 9 out of 10. Fuck Abel. Oh wait, supposedly I forgot something. What would happen if they went to Shrimp Town? I'm not sure. Were there any shrimps in the beach episode?
You're welcome!
Oh yeah, I think that answers that.